Hey everyone, if you're new here, my name is Andrew Hess. Today what I want to do was create a left side navigation. And so we have a beautiful Power App, and mostly today we're going to focus on the left side navigation that we're creating. But in all, you're going to be able to download from GitHub. You can select a few people that are attached to line items. You can then email those people automatically. It'll pull those people through on an email. It's completely responsive, looks beautiful on the phone. We have our left side navigation. Let's get into it. Today, what I wanted to do was on screen one or a new screen, I want to create a left side navigation. And this is for upcoming new parts to our app. And I'm not going to use a component because it's going to be so easy. And I want to do the new modern template. I want to use this new screen right here, this split screen. I want to use some of the out of the box functionality that Microsoft gives us. So to get started, I'm going to click on a new split screen. So we can see here, we have a split screen. And on the left side, I want there to be a left side navigation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the gap. So let's make sure, let's pull this one up just so we can see it. We'll move it up. All right, so you can see that we're on screen 5 right here. So screen 5, screen container 4, left container 2, right container 2. Those are the names that we have for it right now. So on screen container 4, I want to remove the padding. So on the right side here, I'm just going to remove the entire padding. I'm going to remove the gap. Let's see if we remove the gap. Maybe we'll keep the gap in there. And let's see. Now what I want to do is I want the left side to be a lot smaller than the right side. So for the right container 2, I am going to change the fill portions. So you can see that right here above my head. Fill portions. I'm going to change that to 4. So now when we press play, it looks like it's going half and half with the width. So what I'm going to do is on screen container 4, this is my screen container 4 here, I am going to turn off the wrap. So when I press play now, there we go. That's more what I like to see. It's now splitting up between the two. So left container, I'm going to do the width is parent.width. The right side container, I'm going to do width parent.width. Let's see if I'm getting what I want it to look like. Not yet. And most likely that is because of my minimum width on this side. I'm going to say the minimum width is 50. Let's try that. Okay, so this is getting more to what I like. I have a left side navigation here on the left. I have maybe a gap. Maybe that gap is a little too big. So let's see. I'm going to look at screen container 4, the gap, layout gap. Now you can see that it's 16, so it's hard coded in there. One thing that I want to remind you is if I insert a text, and let's say I go to screen 5.size, you can see that I'm at a 4, right? So if I press play, I'm at 1. If we go to a different size, a mini, you can see it raises to 2. On full canvas, it's 4. What I'm most concerned about is screen size 1. So on my screen container 4, I'm going to say the layout gap is if screen 5.size equals 1, then let's give it maybe an 8, else it's a 16. So now we zoom in, we go to our phone layout, and the gap is a lot smaller. So we've kind of made that gap a little bit smaller. Let's see, do we like the rounded corners? For right now, we'll leave the rounded corners, and let's move forward. Now, for the left side navigation, what I'm going to use is going to be a gallery. So I'm going to use a vertical gallery here. So if we look here, this is I guess they called it layout now, but this is the modern vertical gallery. And so I'm going to use this one. I'm not going to use flexible. I'm just going to use a regular vertical gallery. And for the width of the gallery, let's make sure our container is parent.width. Our gallery width is also parent.width. Okay, it looks like it didn't resize itself. You always have to remember the minimum width. Let's see here. The minimum width right now is set to 320. Let's change that down to 100. There we go. So now the minimum width is probably still too big. Let's change that down to 10. I mean, I don't need a minimum width. There we go. So now you can see that it's working because of the rounded corners. If I were to zoom in right there, you can see that rounded corner. Now for the type of gallery, let's see the layout. I don't want image. I'm just going to do, actually, let's just do image and title. No, let's just do title. So I have title. I hate this arrow. I don't like it. I'm deleting it. I also do not like the sidebar. I don't like this bar. Maybe Microsoft is like, oh, everyone needs, I don't like that bar. So I removed that also. So right now it's blank. We have some text in here, but instead of text, what I want to do is I want to insert a button, and this is a modern button. So you have to realize the difference between modern and classic. It's a modern button. I'm going to remove the border radius. So let's see, border radius. It looks like it breaks it up into 4 different ones. I just don't want a border radius at all. No border radius. And it looks like that border radius is from the container. So I'm going to remove the border radius from the container also. So that's now 0. I want to make sure that the gallery is flex. So we're going to do align to container stretch and flexible height. So we can take up the entire spacing. Looks like we just have a little tiny border radius right here that I'm going to remove. And I think that little tiny, maybe you can't see it on my screen, but that little tiny border radius is coming from screen container 4. I'm going to remove that border radius. Okay, so now we have our buttons. Look at how it's flexing. It's kind of fitting in there. If we go to canvas, we can see the full button. Click. Now for the button, I want to add an icon. Let's just add a simple icon at first. I'm going to increase the font size. I want the font size to be maybe 30. There we go. So it's a lot bigger. We can probably change that if we go to the phone. We want it to be centered. So why is it not centering? Let's check this out. So width actually is not parent. It's not parent.width. This one is parent.template width, right? Because we're thinking of the template of the gallery. So for this one, I'm going to do parent.template width. Let's make sure that's the same here. Okay, so on our first row here, right, it is parent.width, so that's fine. So this is parent.template width. All right, so now we can see our button is fitting in there, but now what I want to do is I want it to be icon only when it's a small size. So the button, and this is called layout. Layout. The layout icon before, what I want to say is if screen 5.size equals 1, then icon only, else icon before. So let's press play again. So now we're getting icon only. Isn't that beautiful? To me, that just looks so much better. Imagine you're on your phone, you have your left side navigation. It's right there for you to easily press. Canvas, it grows to the size. Let's check out a tablet. Tablet, it still looks fine. A smaller tablet, still looking good, although it is rotated. But to me, it still looks good. You can see the screen size changing, 3, 4. Okay, to me, it's looking good. Now the next part, we're gonna do this manually at first. So I'm gonna say insert a button. And this button, actually I want it to be in this gallery just for right now. All right, we have a button here. Now for the gallery, maybe I want a little bit of a gap right here for the buttons. So what I'm gonna do is the height of the button, parent.template height -4. There we go. Maybe is -4 too much? Let's go -2. There we go. Just like a little bit of space in there so you can see each of the buttons differently. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to create a table of all the inputs for my buttons. So this table is going to be a collection. So on the select of this button, and we're just going to do this temporarily. Let me open this up. We're going to ClearCollect. ClearCollect, and we'll call this on a collection nav for the navigation. And what we're going to collect is a table of items. And the first thing we want to collect is title. And we'll just say this one is, well, we need the squiggly brackets for each one. So title. And the first one is home. And then we want icon. So I also want to change the icon on each one. So think about this. This is a template for each one of our rows in our gallery. So the icon, we'll say, let's just put it as airplane for now. And so for screen, this is where I want to navigate to, and we may change this in the future, but I'm just going to try screen 1 for now. And then we need a ending curly bracket, ending parentheses, 2 of them. And then I'm going to format text, and we can see that we have one row of title home, icon airplane, screen 1. So then I'm going to press my button one time. So I'm going to press my button one time. It's now collected, and I'm going to replace my items gallery with my collection nav. So now you can see we have our one button. We need to change the button here. The button icon is going to be this item dot icon, and the title, not the title, the button text. The button text is going to be this item dot title. Okay, we can't really see the difference yet because I kind of made it all the same. I'm going to delete title 6. I don't want that there. So now we just have our button, and we have a separator. I'm going to delete that too. I don't like the separator. Okay, so we have one button. It's an airplane. Let's create a second button. So on our collection, let's then do a comma, a squiggly bracket, and we need to do the same columns again. We can probably copy paste. Instead of home, let's say email, and then I don't know the icon name. Is there a mail icon? And this will be screen 2, and remove the comma. So let's see how that works. If there's an icon named mail, we'll figure that out. There is, so you can see that we have our airplane and mail now. You see how that came together? Now let's do the on select. On select, what we want to do is not select the parent. We want to navigate to our this item dot screen, and let's do it on a fade. Okay, and it doesn't like that we said this item dot screen, so this is where we maybe need to make some adjustments. Instead of screen, let's see, can we do screen 1? Oh, we can. So that's how we have to do it. No quotes. Screen. I don't have a screen 2. Screen 3. All right, so let's try this again. Now it's looking better. Let's recollect. When I click my airplane button, it takes me to home. That's good. When I click my email button, it takes me to the email screen. That looks really good. This is looking way too good. All right, so let's go back. Now, on from my screen 1, I'm going to grab this gallery I have here. I'm going to copy and paste it in here. I just want that gallery because I want this to actually be my new home screen. All right, it's just saying things don't line up. They'll line up in a second. There's no real error. It's just taking a few seconds. Okay, and now I'm going to take this button, and this button, I'm going to press Control X. I'm going to cut out this equation. And on my screen 5, on visible, I'm going to collect my navigation. Now you could do this in different places. You could do this on app on start, right? There may be a slight delay if you do it on app on start. You can do it in both places if you want. I don't think collecting a very small table is going to hit you in a performance way, but you can figure that out. Okay, so we have our button. It looks like our gallery is fitting in there a little bit. I'm going to delete this button. I'm going to delete this text. Okay, and now I want to make a gap on the right side, or actually some padding in right container too. So I'm going to do maybe 8 8 all the way around. All right, so we got some padding. Now I want this container here that I created in a previous video. We're going to do a width of parent.width. So now it resizes itself. Okay, it resizes itself. We have our buttons. What I want to do for the width of my text is, let's say if screen 5.size equals 1, then let's say 150, else it's 248. Now we're hard coding that in there. Maybe you don't want to do that, but let's just try that in there. Let's maybe make it a little bigger than 150. Let's try 180. A little bit bigger, maybe 200 is perfect. So like I said, once again, we're hard coding it in there. Looks like it's fitting in there pretty well now. I like the way that looks. Now I need my email button. So I want the button right here, my new email. I want it to be, let's say, on the bottom or on the top of right container. Let's paste it in there. And I'm going to align and stretch it. Now, if we check out this gallery, we can select a few. Now, we can't see everything anymore. There are ways we could probably see everything. We send a new email. It's not selecting everything, probably because I copy pasted. So let's just align my button. So this is gal risks _2. So you can see on my left side here, _2. And this is _2. Let's see, gal risks. Why are you not lining up? I remove the S. There we go. So now let's go back and click on it. Click new email. It then emails the people I want. Looks really good on the phone. Like, oh, that's beautiful. Now what I want to do is when I click this email button, I want it to collect. So, it's kind of built on my button here. So what I'm going to do is, so instead of putting my equation here on the new email, I'm going to take this entire equation that's my collection. So on the on visible of screen 3, I'm actually going to paste in that equation. So that does my collection. So now let's say I remove this button. I'm going to remove my new email button. I have my gallery here, nice big gallery. I can select somebody, check. It's been doing the collection on the on visible. I can select multiple, does the on visible. Let's try 5 of them. We then have 5 people that we have now sent to. We have our subject. We have our entire gallery. This is looking beautiful to me. We now have a left side navigation. Of course, this goes to home. We don't have a home screen yet. Maybe that's something we want to do, is create a home screen. So actually, let's go to our table. And instead of airplane, we'll call this home. So now let's see. If we go here and we go back, it then looks like a home because it collects on the on visible. We have a nice gallery. I love this Power App. I don't know. I feel like this is beautiful. And I'm going to put this right into, I'm going to put this in GitHub and you can download it. The only issue is that it's using SharePoint at the moment as a backend. I don't think you want to use my backend or, you know, my columns anyways. So all you have to do is align this to your data source and you have a nice, beautiful template. Maybe in here, we probably want another, maybe we'll have another one here that's reports, right? Let's do reports. And the icon is, I don't know, is there a chart? Maybe what we'll do, I think for now, is we'll do CalendarAdd. So what we can try now for our icon, we do CalendarAdd. Let's try CalendarAdd. So if we go here and we come back, we can see we now have CalendarAdd. So we have 3 different icons in here. They don't go to all the pages. We haven't created the rest of the app yet. We can change the colors, you know, since this is modern, we can use different templates. So let's see. For the buttons in our gallery, our button canvas, we have different color palettes we can choose from, right? So we could go purple if we want purple. This is like a light blue. Maybe we'll change this to a purple too. So let's try, you know, purple, Power Apps. That's just what I think. Make a home screen. Let me just make a home screen very, very fast. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate screen 5. I'm going to duplicate screen 5. And I'm just going to go to AI. I have Leonardo.ai. I have Midjourney. I have tons of different ways that I create AI images. So I'm just going to go probably to Midjourney this time. And then I'm going to put in a blank container. So vertical container. Take that container, put it in here. And then we want this to be 4, flexible width. Okay, and then we want the text to go away, and then we'll make a background to the screen. Good, so we have our home button, home. So on screen, home will go to screen 5_1, that's correct. Screen 3 reports, we'll call this gallery. I don't know what you want to call it. And let's move the order. So we'll have this here. And the order will be just like that. And this is all going to be on GitHub for you. So if we come email and we go back, we can then see we have our gallery. We can see our gallery home. We can send an email. Now maybe email is blanked out at first until we select some things. But now we can put a title in this container. So insert a text. We want it to be centered in our container. We can change the font to, maybe we don't like that font style. We want something more fancy. You know, something like that. But we have the nice start of a Power App here. We can then email. Last thing probably is I probably want to change the color of this to that purple. There we go. So now it fits there. Beautiful Power App. I mean, you could probably recreate this in 30 minutes. If this is your first time, maybe it takes a little bit longer. But if you are very skilled with Power Apps, you could probably create this in 30 minutes. I believe this is a full, complete Power App. Maybe there's some more things you want to do here. I love this app. I really love it. I'm going to use this as a template for other apps. And the great thing is I'm going to upload this online. All you have to do is change your data source. So all you have to do is come in here, change your data source from my SharePoint list to whatever your data source is, Dataverse, SQL, Excel, whatever your data source is. You can then replace your data source, fill in, recreate the gallery, and you got a nice template here for all of your Power Apps. So thank you all for watching. My name is Andrew Hess. If you like this, please give me a like and subscribe. This took me some time. I'm giving away free content. Please give me a like and subscribe. I can't wait to see anyone and everyone at the Power Platform Conference in Vegas. I'll be there. I'll see you there. My name is Andrew Hess. See you next time.